Okay, we are recording. We are live, but you won't be watching us live. You'll be watching us recorded. I have the pleasure of the dynamic creative team behind Food Time, and they're the Oster brothers, but do not think that there's not more of them, because there's actually 3 Oster sisters. And I can't wait to get their film in the festival next year.
Yeah.
Have a head-to-head. Okay, so from, let's see, the viewers left, we have Deej, and we have Craigen, who's the director, and then we have Joe. Okay, so
And real quick, just wanted to clear that up. All 3 of us directed it. We all 3 are
directed it together. Yeah.
triple-headed director.
Co-directors.
Yes.
Wait, you know what? Maybe at the end of the video, we'll have you stand up to make sure you're not really connected. Maybe you guys all have like one base, you know?
Yeah, we might.
Yeah.
And then we all eat.
Yeah. If you so stay tuned, you know, we gotta tease this spoiler. Okay, guys, I loved your film for so many reasons, and I hope people watch it. First of all, what is Cinema Detroit a real place?
Yes, it is.
So it's actually right around the corner from my apartment where we're at right now. It's like not even a 5-minute walk, maybe. Yeah. It's like a 501c nonprofit, independent theater. It's like the only indie theater in the city. We only have like, I don't know, there's maybe only one other theater in Detroit actually that shows first-run movies. And they have just 2 small screens, which one of them you see in the film. And we were lucky enough. I mean, they're a small place, so we just said, hey, we want to shoot something here. And they gave us like full access pretty much. So it was awesome.
You know what? It's this is not that big of a spoiler because it's the first shot, but like that sign looks so perfect. Like I was like, is that real? Like, is that real? Like it looked so perfect. It was framed beautifully and it really set the tone. And then as the film progressed, you guys show your city so well, like the grittiness of it. And I think, you know, your the cinematography kind of lent itself to that as well. But just like some of the passing shots of the billboards and the, you know, all that, I was like, so these guys either had a huge art direction budget and like made all those, or they had a really good scout, because some of those scenes were just beautiful. And I really, really liked that atmosphere. It was
like we didn't have a scout, but we kind of just every day of our lives, we grew up in the Metro Detroit area. So we see things and we remember like, oh, this is a cool little place. So with this, we were really able to go to, you know, some of our usual haunts that, you know, we go by every day or every week or whatever and kind of capture that. And like you said, it seems like it did its job in coming across.
Yeah, it really did. It gave it a really unique atmosphere, which I really, really appreciated. And then is the stick and lick a real thing?
No, that's just we were going trying to film that scene. We were going back and forth, and it's just called like liquor store. So I just said stick and lick just to kind of make it sound kind of cool.
Yeah, I guess it sounds cool. although I think, you know, someone should open a place called Stick and Lick.
Yeah,
I
agree. It sounds be a nice little bar joint, have like candies and little weird foods and whatnot.
It could be a franchise, you know.
Yeah, business opportunity for the 3 of us, maybe.
Yeah. Okay, so tell me, you guys all co-directed it, and I mean, all 3 of you just always interested in filmmaking?
Yeah. So growing up throughout our lives, we always, that's our favorite thing to do. Like we have, like, as you see, 2 brothers and 3 sisters. So it's pretty easy for us to get a crew of actors or, you know, just helpers or whatnot. And then, you know, as college kind of came around for all 3 of us, we started becoming more, you know, a little more passionate with actually not just watching movies, but trying to create our own, that sort of thing. And then we've all taken, you know, some, you know, film classes here and there. None of us really went to film school, but it just kind of that, and I guess playing basketball are our 2 like #1 hobbies. So yeah, we've always kind of been into movies.
Well, you guys need to have a basketball movie and then kill 2 birds.
That's the plan. We got one in the works, so be ready.
Okay, so you know, we wanted to have this introduction. So why don't one of you or all 3 of you, why don't you intro your movie? it was a rare situation where your description really enhanced like the viewing the movie. Although I don't read the descriptions until after, but it was like interesting to like read. And it's like, oh yeah, like I definitely could see that, or that made sense. It wasn't like a lot of puffery, you know. It was just like really like sincere and really matched the film. So that was really nice. So why don't you share with our viewers? We're probably going to be in the millions, I'm sure, but share with them a little bit about maybe your thoughts of the movie, collectively or individually. Or let's do individually.
Okay.
Deej, you want to start?
Start
And just
here.
go.
Yeah, we'll go down.
Well, I worked in 2 different movie theaters in my life, and just more or less through the collective brain of my brothers and I, you can kind of see, if you know us, you really don't, but no one else watching this really will. It's like basically all 3 of us kind of warped into one, more or less, and I kind of play that. And so that's more or less that. It just kind of captures the day of a couple characters.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and that's like kind of exactly where it had come from, because I was trying to think of something that I wanted to make while I was taking this film course during law school that I actually got law school credit for, which is awesome.
Yeah, like that's kind of what, when Craigen was going to law school, you would use his elective courses to take film courses. So that gives us, who me and Deej aren't in law school, we have all this access to like this great Wayne State film equipment, and so we just kind of went wild with it.
Yeah, exactly. And what I was gonna say was when we were starting to like write it, come up with ideas and whatnot, it stemmed almost directly from, you know, some of Deej's own, like, again, that persona of him just working in a movie theater and some of the stories that happened to him, like, you know, throughout his time working there and whatnot. And then also, like, we all always think about the idea where it's just like, especially when you're around our age, it feels like you're just like walking around all the time, like relentlessly, nonstop. And like, I'm glad you enjoyed that description, because that's like exactly how it felt. It was nothing, you know, super over the top, nothing super pretentious or anything like that. It's like, this is just a shared experience. And it was, yeah, just something that we always thought about all the time. So we wanted to make something about it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
kind of going off with all of that too. Like you said, we're walking around all day, and because there's 3 of us, we have a pretty big group of friends just from naturally. Like I have my friends, but they're all automatically their friends. And something we notice, and maybe it's our own doing, those days of walking around and, you know, exploring things always end with us going to the movies at the end of the day and at the night. And like we get like, we'll get a group of like 12 or 15 of us to go see some random small little movie at, whether at Cinema Detroit or at MJR or whatever. And so that's kind of what we were trying to capture a little bit, like a slice of life. And hey, at the end of the day, we all end up eating food and end up at the movies, kind of.
Yeah, you definitely got the slice of life, and it was funny because when Deej was saying how he worked at movie theaters and stuff, I was like, oh well, that's just like Quentin Tarantino. And then at the end, instead of like a bloodbath with humans, it was like a bloodbath with food. But that's a spoiler, and you have to watch the film for that to make sense. But yeah, you know, I'm so sorry we couldn't be live this year, although, you know, I don't know if you would have been able to make the trip, but I will plug the film festival. It's just such a blast when we're live. I mean, it's such a great vibe, and you'll see that filmmakers really just like the opportunity to like meet other filmmakers. So we don't have that.
Yeah. Well, I'll say one of the reasons we even applied for this film festival is just that name, Twin Falls Sandwiches Film Festival, is awesome. And we love a good sandwich, and we like movies. So there you go.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
I was looking around for festivals that we wanted to send it to, the first 2 that I had in mind too were this and the Seattle True Independent Film Festival. Also because we had a friend who was going to school out in Washington, and we're like, okay, it's perfect. Like, we'll get at these 2 festivals and hopefully go out there and stay with him. He actually ended up moving back home during the pandemic and everything, but we thankfully got in at both of those festivals, which is awesome. Like, we couldn't ask to be in a more aptly named festival, like Joe said.
And you guys are young, like you guys could just hop in the car and take shifts and drive.
That's what we talked about. If you guys were going to hold it in person, we were like, all right, can we just do it?
Yeah,
Screw it, let's go. Like,
if it would have been in person, we would have been there no matter what, probably.
Yeah, cool. And one of our sponsors is the Twin Falls Sandwiches Twin Falls Sandwiches. It's like a sandwich shop next door to the theater, and I did not know it existed. So I had like planned this festival, And then they're like, you know that there's a Twin Falls sandwich company next door to the theater. I had no idea. And they are one of our greatest sponsors. And you guys would have been eating sandwiches all weekend long.
That is a dream. I looked it up and I saw that I learned about the sandwich shop and learned about the film festival. And I was just praying that we would do it in person because I assumed they would give you some sandwiches from the shop or they'd be supplying the food. But hopefully next year, sometime soon, we can get out there and try those nice, delicious sandwiches.
Yeah. Okay, so tell us what is next on the agenda for you collectively or independently?
So, couple things. When we shot Food Time, we have probably enough for like a half-hour cut. I think it's right now it's like 11 or 12 minutes. And so we're gonna, since we've got a bunch of other things in the docket, we're gonna try and form that cut, to make it a little longer because we got some stuff we think we like. And then we just shot in August a small little short film for like this 48-hour film competition where we've been doing them for a few years now. You have to like write, direct, shoot, and edit a movie in 48 hours. And then actually on Monday and Tuesday of this week, we shot like a little improv movie. We went over to my house, mine and Deej's house, and we had Craigen with his camera. And we kind of just figured out, all right, we got 2 days, we're not doing anything else. It's pandemic. Let's figure out, try and make a movie. And yeah.
And then we also, I did this independently from Joe and Deej, but because they were working on the Soderbergh movie during this, but I'm finishing up a documentary with my friend Sebastian, who goes to the film school in Detroit here at Wayne State, and my girlfriend Nicole. It's again, slice of life where we followed around a paletero, who's a Mexican ice cream man. His name's Mario in Southwest Detroit. So it's just a documentary where it was in August, I think. We just followed him around for a full day. And we're actually working with a band out of Pontiac here. They make Hispanic Latin music and whatnot, and they're gonna kind of bring all of that together to build this portrait of this paletero. So that's another thing that we're also working on right now.
That sounds great. How about you, Deej?
More or less, that's really it. I just started making some music with my friend Jake, and we created some original songs.
If you want to, you can introduce videotape.
That's perfect, actually. So the next movie, independent from Food Time, that we have already almost ready to roll out is called Videotaped. And that, I won't get into too much details, but my friend Jake and I created some of the music for that. And we're just slowly starting to try and collect enough songs to make like some sort of album or just create songs independently for movies, because it sucks to get rights for songs and you don't want to settle and get a song that's worse. So if you just make one like on the spot or immediately, it'll fit perfectly. But yeah, the band is called Chewing Gun, and that
Chewing Gun.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with chewing rifle.
No,
Exactly.
Okay.
Chewing on a bullet or something.
So I'm so glad you're part of the festival, even though it's a little bit altered, but let's look forward for future collaborations. And then let's get a Sandwiches Film Festival at Cinema Detroit.
Yeah. I'm so down.
The Coney Dog Film Festival at Cinema Detroit.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you at the movies.